Hi guys, Ronda Winstead here, aka Ronda without an H. That would be Ronda Winstead on YouTube and Ronda without an H on Etsy. Okay, so what I want to start doing, and I've been thinking about this for quite some time, and I want to share it with you. I am, for those of you that are new to my channel and have not watched all my videos, and for those of you that have been here for quite some time and haven't watched, all my videos, I mean, yeah, it's kind of impossible to do it all. But I do so appreciate you being here, all of you, and I hope you feel welcome, and I hope you will enjoy your time with me and learn something fun for you to use in your own art. But for many of you may not know this, but I am a quilter turned mixed media artist working with fabrics and paper. And from that stemmed, I created a Facebook group, and I have been doing a lot of the stitching of papers and fabrics and laces and that type of thing for some time. 2020 has been a strange year, as we as we all know, don't we? We certainly do. And 2021 is kind of continuing, but I think we're sort of, we know a little what to expect, and so it's not thrown us quite so much. But anyway, aside from all that, I've been thinking about doing a segment on my channel periodically. I don't know yet how often I will do it, but that's just in big part combining my loves, and that is fabric and paper, and that's stitching, sewing. And so this particular segment, I'm going to call it just Stitch and Chat. Very simple. And hopefully those of you that do not sew, maybe you'll get inspired that you want to, take a look at that sewing machine that's been sitting over there with dust collecting, or, I don't know. But maybe you'll see something that you can adapt to gluing, that type of thing. Or maybe you just sit and have your hot cocoa or tea or whatever, and you just visit with us while we do our stuff. So anyway, this is my first video in my Stitch and Chat series, and we are going to alter this extra large glassine bag. So let me take that out a little bit. So this is what we're doing today, and this is what I came up with as the final product or project. Then obviously this will be a tip-in for a journal, and we can add it anywhere in the book, and these are just plain. I don't have anything wonderful in here. This is just to show you, what it can look like on a page. If you want it on a page of a different color or more decorative or whatever, this is basically what you will see. So let's take a peek-see, and then we'll gather some tools and stuff, and we will make this little guy. Okay, so I have got pockets, 2 pockets. You have journaling here. Open it up. We have a fun decorative card, journaling card, and you've got lots of journaling spot here. I'll just set this out. And you also have journaling here. You have journaling here. we have another pretty card, journaling card, and you have, again, more journaling space. We flip it over and you finish up with journaling space. So this is like a huge amount of journaling, but it's really pretty too. So this is going to be fun. And if you watch one of my recent videos where I was doing the sealing wax, where I kind of went a little sealing wax crazy, and maybe some of the colors I used were a little weird. Yeah, they were. But these were a teeny bit toned down. We'll get better at that. But anyway, so this has been really fun to be able to use these as well. And this white paper that we're using, I am also using a sack. Let's see, do I have one that is not cut? I do. Okay, so these are, I carry both of these in my Etsy shop, but I'm sure, you can use whatever you would like to do. That way, you need a clear glassine bag, and you need a sandwich bag that's of a light texture, but so that you can write on it, okay? All right, so you're going to need one of each of these. You're going to need some journaling paper that you can use for the front. These are going to be, I take this apart and I use this, and then I use this for the outside. So this one sack will do the insides and this. You're also going to need some little embellishments, things that you want to decorate with. This is a washi tape that I have put on some dictionary pages and added some lace and then stitched on that way. These are just little stickers. This is also a sticker that I put on music paper, and then some lace, and then a little bit of the green masking paper. This is part of a hanky. This is a ledger, part of a ledger page. This is a doily that I have cut up, and this, of course, is music paper. Now, what you don't see, this is layered. Well, technically not, because this is on the inside. I have a book page, and it shows clear through here, so you see the stitching and you see the page, but technically it's on the inside, so it's not layered on the outside. Did that make sense? So you're going to need also a book page, a fun book page that you can trim down to fit this size. Let's see, what else are you going to need? And you're going to need some cards that you can, these are, well, let me give you the measurements that I'm using. My glassine bag is 6 3/4 inches by 9 1/4 inches. And I have trimmed off the edge. I have one of these, which is a rotary cutter, and it's got the decal blade. So I have decaled this. Let me show you. Let me show you, my friends. Since we're just chatting about it. Okay. Okay. So that's what we're going to end up using. Okay? And okay, so you'll need these cards. You'll need embellishments, things to decorate. I've got images. This is tailor-made journals. This is Tracy Fox. These are some of my own ephemera pieces. Cheesecloth. Let's see, what else? What else? What else have we got here, guys? This is, I love this image. Look at that kitty. Oh, she's so sweet. Looking at the little, is that a dragonfly, a butterfly? Anyway, a bug. Pinterest. And then this, I believe, is part of digital from Artie Mays. So, and then other digitals and my own ephemera. So, yeah. So gather your supplies and get yourself something good to snack on or drink, and let's just get started. You'll need scissors, you'll need a sewing machine, or really, really heavy glue, but this segment is stitching, and so if you're a gluer, you'll just have to figure out the glue part. I'll talk about the stitching, and I do both. And I use both of this. You'll also need a few little fabric scraps, kind of, yeah. Okay, so let's set this aside and let's start by preparing our bags. Get those ready. Let me just kind of pop this all off to the side. All right. The glassine bag, like I showed you, first of all, I cut it like this. Oh, I was going to give you all the measurements, wasn't I? Did I do that? Did I? And then we're going to fold. Well, I gave you the measurement of the glassine bag, but let me give you the finished project in case you're using something else, so you know what I'm working with, and then you adjust. You just adjust what your measurements need to be. Okay, folded, this is 4 1/4 inches wide, so that would be 8 1/2 wide. And then lengthwise will be 6 3/4 inches. Okay? Now, what I am doing here, this is not 6 3/4 inches. Look at this. Yeah, it is. Okay. What am I thinking? So what I have done is I have prepped a little bit on one bag just to show you what I'm doing. Okay? So this has been split, and you can do one of two things. Well, three things really. You can cut it with some scissors. You can trim it with your rotary cutter for it to be very fine, which I have done as well. Or you can use a nice letter opener and carefully split it down. Before you do this one, however, you do need to trim this side. And I am going to go ahead and hope that I did the same thing on the first one so that this is going to match up. And I'm doing the same thing. Do you see what I'm leaving? Just a small little bit. And if you're cutting it close to and you're not using this kind of a trimmer, you can even go closer. But this is what I'm using. Okay? So we have both sides now. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is carefully peel off this extra little flap that was folded up on my glassine bag. And if I'm careful, I haven't had any issues with it splitting or, ripping the main. Because believe it or not, I know, I'm a crinkle girl and I love the crinkle of glassine, this. Yeah. But, yeah. It's pretty sturdy nonetheless. Okay, now you'll see here is where the bag was glued together. So this is where I don't think you can even, maybe just, yeah, there you can see it turning up. So this is where I glued on so that I cover that up. If it's not a big deal to you, that's fine, doesn't matter. So the reason that I mention that is you'll want to make sure that you trim the opposite side of where your bag was glued together. And I think for this one, I'm just going to go ahead and use my rotary cutter this time, and my map board and ruler. We just line that up neatly. Okay, so here we go. And this makes it so I can decorate inside and I can decorate outside without getting into the other layers. Let me show you the finished one. You can see that I have stitched this together and this has stayed folded. Now you could, if you prefer, you could go ahead and take this apart too, if you want to do that. You just have to make sure that you stitch, you stitch it back together on the top and the bottom. I didn't, but that is definitely an option that you can have. Okay, so this bag is prepped, ready to go. And then she said, get that sandwich bag out. And these, and again, let me give you the measurements. These are almost, well, I think it's supposed to read 6.5 inches. It's just a smidgen under, but pretty much 6.5 by 8 3/8 inches. And this one, we do want to take apart. I want to be able to create journaling spots with these. So that's what we're going to do. I also want to show you a little something here. Now I've shown this in other videos, but you perhaps haven't seen it, and so let me share it here. Do you notice a difference in this, the texture of this bag versus this? Okay. Those of you that said, well, the one on the left is a lot more crinkly and wrinkly looking, you're right. And that is because I sprayed this with water and ironed it. Okay? And Another thing that I want to do, I want to take this, and I honestly don't remember. I really don't remember how I took the, do I want, no, I don't want that one. No, maybe I do. Because I'm using this is an edge, and then I've deckled. Okay, we'll try this. Okay, I'm going to cut this bag apart. We are trying to create as many, oh, that wants to be difficult, a little bit difficult. Okay, well, we'll just get our little scissors in here and just trim that. Alrighty. So now I can open this one up, and it has gussets right here. So I'm going to go ahead with this one as well, and I'm going to peel off my excess where the flap comes up and helps to create, you know, it's what's holding the bottom together on the bag. Okay. Let's get rid of those. Okay, so now we have, this is pretty near good as glassine, guys. But for those of you that this may be hurts your ears, I do apologize. Okay, so I'm going to take this apart, and for this part, I'm just going to cut along here. And that gives me all this to work with. So I will have plenty for what I need. Okay? I'll have enough for a nice back, for the insides, and you'll have extra as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spray this with water. I'm gonna do this. Then I'm taking it over to my iron, and I'm going to spritz it and iron it back down because I want that texture. I'll be right back. Okay, this has been spritzed and ironed, and it's got some wonderful texture going on here. Very similar to this. So we're good to go. Okay, so the next step will be to go ahead and start decorating on the inside. And since we've already got this, let me just tell you what I did here and let you give you time to go ahead and do that. I grabbed some atlas paper that I have, and I put it to the size and what I did was I gave it just a little bit of an edge. You can either tear this down to size, or you can cut it if you would rather have a certain with some decal scissors or some type of decorative scissors, if you whatever edging you would like. So you can do it that way. The important thing is you just want to make sure that you're covering up this little area. Okay, so this would be in the neighborhood of, let's see, this is 2 inches wide-ish. And then, of course, I already told you that this is about 8.5 inches wide, unfolded, and so you would leave a little border. So go ahead and do that. And then you're going to stitch that all the way around using your sewing machine. Okay? And I'm actually leaving my little threads on there, which is something we don't do in quilting, is it? We don't do that in quilting. But here it's okay. So I have then glued on a piece of handkerchief. You could, let me see what I did on this one. This one I glued on as well, and you can see that I actually left a little more border on this one than I did on this one. So you can kind of get an idea of what you like the best and do that according to whatever's saying yes at the time. Okay, so now we are ready to put in our extra pieces. And you can see on this one I've also taken off the little extra this that's on the back here. We'll see. Well, I guess I could. Okay, fine. You guys, you talked me into it. I know. Maybe, I know. Maybe there's a reason I didn't. Okay. It's just kind of fun to recycle these, don't you think? I mean, it's to use a bag for a different purpose than what it was made for, I think is just super fun. All right, now let me get my papers, my scraps, and see what I need to do. So what you want to do is measure, and I would recommend that you leave a little bit of a space like this. I think, in fact, let me move that. Oh, this would be good for the back though, wouldn't it? Oh, you know what? I must have done this previously. I'm not going to mess with that one because that's going to go on the back. But I will do this, and then I'll need another one. Wait. That's going to go on the back. Is that wider? This is a little bit wider, isn't it? Yeah, this will be for the back. And this, you know, I want it a little bit wider, so we are going to just prepare this all over. So I'm getting out my decal ruler, and I am ripping an edge, and we will put this on top. And obviously you folded this, right? I mean, I didn't actually say fold this, but yes, fold it. Fold it so you know where the center is, so you have a line to guide you as you're doing this part. So I want mine about there, and I'm bringing this down so that I can see where the edge is on that side. And then I'm just trying to hopefully get this lined up correctly on the other side. Let me lift up. That's pretty good. Maybe a little closer. All right. And we will just tear it. And I'm just going to come down here and just continue tearing. Okay. All right. And this is kind of fun. I'm just going to leave it. So now I want to get this and we will so then you'll do the other side as well. You'll do the one that is going on the back as well. And at this point you can also, I would recommend also doing your journaling page with whatever paper you are wanting to use here. Let me show you again what I've got here. So there again, the first, you know what? I'm getting ahead of myself just a minute. So let's stop before this step. Let's just do the lunch sacks. Let's do this inside. Let's get that done first. So I'm going to turn the video off and I'm going to prepare this other side and make sure that the back is prepared. And I'm also going to, off camera, I'm going to do my edging, ink edging. So you can do whatever you want that way as well. Okay, I'll be right back. Hopefully you're working on yours. Okay, I am ready to stitch my pages down, or my little journaling spots. And I'm fine. I kind of think this is kind of cute where I have the deckled edge with my this cutter. I'm doing the same across both, so that's kind of a fun thing. And then I've got my back here ready to go, ready to stitch on. You can see that I have inked my edges. So now what I'm going to do is use my handy dandy little glue stick, and I am going to just glue this down to be stitched. Okay, this is just to tack it down so I can stitch it in place. Okay, we'll do the same here. And obviously, if you're playing along with this, gals or guys, and you're not using a sewing machine, you will need to do a much better job of the gluing, because this is just to tack it down. Okay, before I glue this one on, I'm going to go ahead and stitch around. And my machine that I have used for many years is a little bit on the fritz right now. It needs to go to the sewing machine doctor, but I've not had a chance to get it there. And so the machine I'm using right now is too big and to be able to set up here for you. But what I will do is I'm going to stitch and turn, coming down just inside the line. Let me show you, and finish up. Well, it looks like here I started on this edge, which is a good place to start. So just stitch your square and make sure that you open this up and only stitch through the one layer. So I will go ahead and I will stitch these two on, and I will be back. Okay, you can see that I have gone ahead and stitched around. This is a bit crooked. When you're learning a new sewing machine, sometimes things get a little bit off until you get your bearings straight. So that's that's kind of what I'm in the process of doing right now. And now what I am doing is just, I pulled my threads through from the back to the front, and I am giving this a little knot You don't have to. I mean, it isn't a quilt, so it's not like you're going to wash it or, or anything like that. So probably be just fine. But it's just a way to just make sure that my threads are all caught and that I have done this so it will be secure. Okay, so we'll just, and I either do it in a little knot like that or I do 2 and 2 like this. I do both. I either tie it in one little loopy-doopy or I do like a little square hickey-doo or whatever you want to call it. And then trim any excess threads. So the inside is basically done with the exception of some lace trim or whatever. Oh, look at this, guys. Now this, I'm kind of sad about this. Oh, because I left space to do this pretty little lace, zigzag that on. But you know what? We'll still do that. We'll just go down over what we've got here. I'm sure it will be okay. But this is kind of a cute thing, I think. Makes it stand out just a little bit. But okay, that we'll be okay with that. Okay, now what we want to do, go ahead and stitch your back on. We'll glue the back down, and some people have special glues that they use, and I don't know, on a glue stick, I just think the key isn't as much the kind of glue you use, but how you apply it. I may be wrong, but it seems like when I apply more glue and or I burnish my project, that it seems to hold up better, but that's just something from my observations. But there again, I may be wrong on that. Okay, so I've got this side done. Now I want to put my book page on this side, and it's a little bit too big. I don't want to take much at all, though, away. So I'm just, I don't know if I can do this. Oh, I don't know how this will turn out with just a teensy weensy little bit. Oh, see, I don't know, that may be even too much at that, but we'll give it a try. Let's see, how does that look? Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. We'll take off. And the sad thing is, when you get these delicious old book pages, you rip off some of the delicious, the darker coloring. Now I've got two sides here. I like this, well, it won't matter because it's not going to show. I was going to say I like this side because it says 1831. So anyway, but this is going to be the under. So we will just take off just the itty bitty. Okay, so then I will also glue this down to the inside and try to center that. as much as I can. Okay. Whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Rip it off! Oh, you guys, this is... Doing it is one thing, but showing what you've been doing is a completely different kettle of fish. We'll probably better put just a little bit more of this gluey stuff on here. Oh my goodness. My kids, they just shake their heads sometimes like, oh yeah, Mom. And I definitely am more forgetful than I ever used to be. Ugh. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is stitch around these pages. Here's the back page. Going to stitch all the way around there. And I'm going to stitch all the way around here. When we fold it over, it's not going to show, but just the little bit here, which is kind of cool. Alrighty, I'll do that and I will be back, guys. Okay, this is where we are right now. We have stitched this page. We have stitched the back on, the insides. Everything is stitched down now. The only thing remaining on journaling pages is to do our this over. Now, here's something I'm trying to decide, and you guys tell me what you think. Let me show you the finished one again, and you can see that this is inside the lines, and I have just glued, evidently so that this stitching line is highlighted here. But I have not, let's take a peek, see. Okay, I see what I've done, look. So I have made this side, I've left that alone and have gone inside to do my journal page right here. What I was thinking of doing was perhaps utilizing this. I think these are very cool to use in your on your pages. And here's another one with different holes. So what do I want to do? What do we want to do? What are you thinking? So I think I like this. I want to use this paper, and maybe I should, before we put that on, maybe I should go ahead and get some lace, and let's play with that just a little bit and see what we want to do that way. Okay, let me grab some different laces and I'll be right back. Okay, we are getting there, guys. So now all I have left to do is this. I told you I was going to get a few laces and we'd take a peek, see. I just want to play with that just a minute, just to see how this looks against there. Now I really kind of like this. Let's see, which is right or wrong side? I don't know. I think this is the right side right here. That's really sweet, isn't it? Let's try another one. This is a little plainer. I think this is a little plain. I think this is beautiful, but not for this particular application. I really like this. But I think, unlike this one, I'm going to do this one a little bit differently. Because this one obviously is more cream monotone with the pop of color coming in the little extras put on. But I found this, a piece of old fabric, and I just thought, isn't that pretty? In fact, actually, this was part of, hubby and I went to an auction with our son and daughter-in-law, and we had so much fun. And I did pick up a couple of things, some doilies and that kind of thing. Let's see, let me get my rotary cutter, my fabric rotary cutter. Or do I want this to be scalloped? Maybe we want to try it scalloped. So I'm thinking of putting just a little strip of that and kind of ruffling that up, and then using this in the center, like here, using the fabric here as this, and then this as this. Does that make sense? As I say it to myself, I'm like, whoa, what are you smoking? All right, let's just take a peek, and I'm just gonna get that, and then oh, you guys, it has stayed so cold here today. Just cold. I hope you're staying warm wherever you are. Not too hot, not too cold, as Goldilocks and the three bears, just right, correct? Just right. Looks like that was just about an inch, so we'll just do an inch, and we'll see how this goes. I'm just giving it a try. Okay. At some point, I'm obviously going to have to use these, and this is just fun. We'll just set that off. This has been washed and ironed. Everything that we bought was washed and ironed. I did actually find, I bought a couple of antique, one was a tablecloth, hand crocheted tablecloth in an ecru, and the other was a hand crocheted bedspread in more of a cream. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. And they were very reasonable. So it's like, whoa. So I don't know, I may, if I don't keep them, I may go ahead and put them in my Etsy shop. Okay, so can do that, and do we like this with that? It's kind of fun. I mean, this is definitely a soft, it's very much in the same color tone, so it's very subdued, but I kind of wanted to keep this subdued that way. What I might do, however, is edge with I have some pinks, and I might do some edging on both sides with the pink, just to give a little pop of color on the very edge. I wonder how that would look. Yeah, that might be kind of nice. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to ruffle this, take this to my machine, and I'm just going to ruffle it as I go. You can see, let's see, let's get it up a little closer so you can see. I'll just scrunch and stitch like that. Scrunch and stitch I'm not going to try to put a straight stitch in and then pull it to make a nice ruffle. I'm just doing the kind of the journaling scrunch and stitch. Scrunch and stitch. But first I'm going to go ahead and edge on both sides with this ink. And I will stitch this down and then I will be back. We'll take a peek, see at where we're at. And hopefully you're doing well on yours. Okay. I love this. Oh my gosh. Oh, I just think that's just so adorable. I just did kind of the scrunchy, and it looks like here it was a little more uniform. I don't know why. I didn't. Anyway, I love this. So, yeah. Okay, now we will trim off our edge, and I will just a very little bit ink that as well. Oh, that's so fun. Now let's pull our, where is my pin that I do my pulling up? Oh no, Well, we'll have to look for it later. Okay. I just want to make sure these are pulled up, and then we'll just give this a, I'm just tying, and we'll give that little trim. That's really cute. I could have taken this down a little more, or, well, it's close. Okay. Now, this is the trim. Oh yeah, that'll work. Oh, that is so cute. What do you think? Do you like? You know, I actually like both. I really do. But I'm going to go ahead with this, and we will call it good. I'm going to trim it off right there. These trims that I've been showing you, I believe that I purchased these in Hobby Lobby. I just, when they have their sales on, you know, and with the 40% off coupon, which I understand is going away, but then supposedly, you know, some other great deals will be happening, so I'm sure it'll be good. And let's go ahead and fray this a little bit. I like the frayed look. If it's like, no, do not touch me. No. All right, there we go. And for this, I am just going to glue it on. We will use our Fabri-Tac again, and we will just glue a bead on. And just as a reminder for those of you that may not have caught that, I use Fabri-Tac when I'm gluing thicker surfaces together, especially with fabric. And with the lace, this is like a Cluny lace, which is like a cotton. All right, let's just lay that down. Oh, I just think that is so sweet. Love it. How's yours coming, you guys? Are you having fun with this project? I hope you are. We just, you know, that we can do so much with little things. It's just amazing to me. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and add a little journaling, some journaling papers here. and I'm just going to start them about here. Part of me wants to just leave this because it's just so cool, but I'm going to stick with what we were doing. So let me get my decal ruler. I usually use this side. Sometimes I will turn it and use the other side, but generally speaking, I use this side. So let's pop that on there. I am, though, on this one, I'm going to give it a little more space. So let's see, that would be about, well, I'll tell you what that would be about. Let's do, if we do 2 1/4 inches, I think would be good. So 2 1/4 inches, and then I'm going to put my decal right up against this ruler, so that is my measurer. Let's see if we did a good job on that. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to take a little bit off here. I don't want it to show extra top space like we do at, on pages and such. And okay, this one's going to be this one right here. So we will go ahead and decal that, and we'll save that for another project. Okay. Now, I think I'm going to stitch this down, you guys. Because we are, right? We're stitching. We are stitching as we chat today. I have no idea how long this video is going, and I'm just afraid that it might be getting really, really long. And so what I may do is do this in 2 parts and do the journaling tags or journaling cards as a separate video. Okay. Oh, I like that. I really like that. Okay. This is the original. And I really do. I just kind of love this. I love this. And this is different, but it's also really beautiful. Oh, that's the fun thing. We can just do everything. Change this up just a little bit, change that, and come up with a whole new something or other, huh? And you may find that you have taken one of the thoughts or ideas that you've seen here, and you've just gone to town and created your own very amazing, wonderful something, which I'd love to see pictures of course. All right, guys, I am going to stitch this down and I will be back. Okay, guys, I'm really, really happy with this. Oh, I love this. And you notice my threads, I even curled those. I'm like, let's give it a, let's curl the hair here. So I'm loving this so far. Not quite ready to stitch it across the bottom to seal it up. We have this that we're looking at to make a little embellishment here, one here if we want to, and maybe do this as well on the inside, something down here. But I'm going to call this good for this video, so we will continue with this in our next video. We'll call this a 2-part series. This one. Thank you for joining me, and I hope this is fun for you. I won't do this all the time, but occasionally we'll just do a stitch and chat where you can know if it says stitch that we are stitching fabrics with something. It might be fabric to fabric, it might be fabric to paper, it might be fabric to lace, whatever, but it will include stitching. All right, thank you so much for joining me. I love you guys, and I hope you are staying well, staying healthy. Until next video, please have a fabulous day. Bye-bye now.